You're the children of your father, the devil!
Satan is Jehovah, Darrell Wilder, and the governing body, and Jesus Christ as my witness.
With your eyes of faith, do you see Jehovah as directing his people today?
We must listen to the governmental superior authorities who are permitted by Jehovah to care for certain functions.
Now, we know he's interested in our spiritual well-being. But what about our physical well-being, our health? Does he care about that?
We have now lost over 17,000 of our dear brothers and sisters to COVID-19.
In some countries, there's been considerable confusion and disagreement over how to deal with the pandemic. Some chafe at the idea of wearing masks, and they refuse to practice physical distancing, even when these precautions are required. But from Jehovah's organization, we've had clear direction from the very beginning. What does Jehovah know? Down to this, friends. Do I really believe that Jehovah is directing this organization today? Do I believe that Jehovah will give insight to his faithful people? Does God really care? Would Jehovah allow the governing body, the helpers, missionaries, a huge percentage of the worldwide Bethel family, and other full-time servants receive a COVID-19 vaccine that would be harmful?
We have now lost over 17,000 of our dear brothers and sisters to COVID-19.
My mother died just last year, and she always felt that the end was close at hand. She just knew that she would live to see it, but she didn't.
Our God is definitely not like Pharaoh, who wanted to kill off an entire generation of Jehovah's worshipers. We are convinced that Jehovah cares about the health and safety of his people, and that he will guide us, saying in effect, "This is the way. Walk in it, you people."
Been 10 times as many new cases and deaths among the brothers than there were in the previous month.
We all appreciate our beautiful new publication, Enjoy Life Forever. That was a tremendous amount of work, involving hundreds of hours of overtime. But that's not all that was accomplished during the pandemic. What about the monthly broadcasts? We never missed one. Then there are the beautiful videos, our regional conventions, the Gilead graduations, and the annual meetings. All of this was possible because the Bethel family stayed healthy. So many brothers and sisters have concluded that what works for the Bethel family is likely to work for them. And now, we're moving into another phase of the pandemic. Wasn't it exciting? Governing body committees have been prayerfully evaluating when and how to resume in-person meetings safely. Earlier this year, vaccines weren't available in many lands. Infection rates were high, and the Delta variant was rapidly spreading. As of November 8th, 14 branches have already held their first meetings. Based on the results of this pilot program, we hope that additional congregations can be approved to resume in-person meetings in the months ahead. In the meantime, we can continue to pray for Jehovah's guidance and blessing on these arrangements. So, dear friends, let's keep focusing our eyes on the one who is invisible, trusting that our God loves us and that he will never allow his people to come to harm.
We have now lost over 17,000 of our dear brothers and sisters to COVID-19.
What happens when I reason with the scriptures that goes against what's put out? You're an apostate. There is no reasoning from the scriptures that is against what society puts out, what the governing body puts out. So it is demonstrated that you obey the governing body before you obey God.
We know it can be difficult to make a wise decision when there are various opinions and conflicting reports. A Christian submits to human governments when a command does not contradict God's laws.
While it is illegal to profit from tissue donations in the U.S., organizations may provide fetal tissue for medical research. Medical researchers in the U.S. have been working with fetal tissue for decades.
So this is another serious factor that we each should carefully and prayerfully consider in making our decision. As a result of having over 99% of the United States Bethel family fully vaccinated, we have been able to open up more activities within Bethel in accord with New York State regulations.
If God really were your father, you would love me, because I came from God, and now I'm here. I did not come on my own authority, but he sent me. Why do you not understand what I say? It is because you cannot bear to listen to my message. You are the children of your father, the devil, and you want to follow your father's desires. From the very beginning, he was a murderer and has never been on the side of truth, because there is no truth in him. When he tells a lie, he is only doing what is natural to him, because he is a liar, the father of all lies.
The importance of listening to these authorities is emphasized in verse 2, where it says, whoever opposes the authority, or according to the footnote, whoever resists the authority, has taken a stand against the arrangement of God.
The rally was in opposition to the state's vaccine mandates and proposed pandemic bill, which would allow the Andrews government to impose health orders even after the state of emergency ends next month.
There is no lease agreement with the government where it owns this body. This is mine, and that once they take this, I've got nothing.
Protesters took their children and pets. Many came prepared with homemade signs. One man even carried a fake gallows, complete with a hanging noose. After trawling through the city, the march came to a stop at the steps of Parliament House, where organisers had a chance to address the mob.
You tell the story, Victoria. Do we want their power-grabbing pandemic management bill? No!
This great city and this great state has descended into totalitarian